Hello everyone. So the technical difficulties have just been happening, but we're ready to go now. I'm Apple, I'm going to be the host.
And I'm Gally, and I'm going to be the client in this run. Let me know.
Let's just get started now. When Gally joins, there'll be a countdown in the bottom left here. Yeah, you can connect
join?
now. Yeah.
Radical.
There'll be a countdown in the bottom left. Time will be when that expires, and we load into the first level.
Yep. This game has horrendous loading, by the way. You're going to see it between every level. So
Yeah.
while I have 15 seconds, I'm going to explain that Siberian Mayhem is an insert DLC that happens in a part of the game that wasn't shown in Serious Sam 4, and it really doesn't matter in terms of plot, but it is cool, I guess. That's my explanation.
Here we go, and go. Time.
Did you get it?
So we both tried to do a skip there, firing a shot. If you shoot before the pistol clip animation, you can skip it, and while it's playing, you can't sprint, so it saves a little bit of time.
Yep.
Start off here, we're just kind of running towards the main part of the level.
The intended route for this level is you go up to an oil derrick to unlock an oil refinement facility, and you have to do a bunch of arenas and clear out every enemy that the game throws at you. But clearing out enemies takes a lot of time. There's a lot of timers that are involved. The scripts are kind of annoying, so instead we're going to opt to skip all of that by taking it out of bounds over here. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Just coming up on it now. So this is how all Serious Sam runs tend to go. We have a rock here. Let's go and climb it.
And see you later,
Film some
nerd.
studio here.
Alright, I'm gonna try to jump around an invisible wall. Oh, did I get it? Alright, radical. There's an invisible wall that prevents you from doing what I just did there, but there's a hole on the side. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm much worse at that jump than you
I'm
are.
back ahead.
Right. We're both
So
aiming for the exact same place here, because in co-op it's all about consistency. We don't have access to quick save, quick load like single player runners do. So basically whoever gets to the end first in this level, or a lot of other levels, basically determines the time. It's the best of two. This route over here through the back, am I ahead of you? Yeah, I get to explain it because I'm ahead of you. I'm currently in the trenches of the second level. This happens to be loaded in because when you walk through, it wants to give a sense of continuity from level to level. But we can use some of this geometry to our advantage to get back in bounds from where we are out of bounds. So we're just going around pretty much the entirety of the level. We're sneaking up here on a hill.
this one sort of speed tip we have. If you do some strafe jumps, you go slightly quicker. I'm bad, so I'm now twice as far behind as I was before.
I'll give it a shot. Nope. We're both horrendous.
It's only barely quicker anyway.
It's barely quicker, yeah. So we can use that bit of out of bounds, that set of stairs, to get back in bounds. This is only accessible from enemies. Enemies usually only spawn up here, but the collision still exists. And we can rock right into the ending trigger over here. Most of the levels are dictated by ending triggers. So
there's nothing you need to do, you just need to hit that trigger and you're done.
Yep. There will be one exception, but we'll explain it when we get there. This level has a really cool start, assuming Apple gets it. He happens to be pretty consistent at it. The puzzle involves moving a bunch of containers around with a crane mechanic, which is horrendous and dumb and stupid, and there's enemies involved and stuff. But we have alternate routes here, so in case Apple fails, I have a pretty cool backup anyway. But we'll see how this goes.
So you can just kind of jump on the fences over here and skip the whole puzzle.
You're stupid consistent at that. Good stuff.
And here's boss fight. We're gonna ignore the boss, instead there's a car here. And you can use that car to jump between two invisible walls from the bottom. It's kinda weird, but it helps get out of bounds here.
Yep. Again, with this being co-op, it's basically whoever can get it first. So I'm just making sure that the boss isn't interfering with where he's going.
Yeah.
He's
Boss is going to be with
towards...
us for the rest of the level. It's fun.
Yeah. And I believe killing it initiates a cutscene, which would teleport us back, so...
I don't think it teleports if there's a cutscene, so...
Okay, it's annoying, regardless. Apple has headed into a mech. You could avoid the mech entirely. I mean, I'm out of bounds here, and I could head directly towards that point over there. But it's a lot slower than just using a mech, which has far faster movement capabilities with dashing, etc. And considering we're on tourists, we also don't really have to worry about enemies in any real capacity.
So it's just that you don't need to kill anyone in the mech section, it's just get to the end alive.
Let me try out that sweet tag.
If you're lucky, you can get a small boost when you dash off the enemies, but it's not very consistent.
Boosting sort of looks like this, except I'm facing the wrong direction whenever I do it.
So at the end of the level here, for some reason there's a teleport trigger. And then I'm going to try and launch this mech.
Come on. I believe. No, it's okay.
If you dash the last frame, well, right before you get kicked out, sometimes it just gets launched into space.
Yep. It will also boost you towards the end, which happens to be a lot more important in the original game, Serious Sam 4. There's a boost that you can get leaving the mech. But in this game, it really doesn't matter. The ending is 5 feet away from where you end up at. For this level, we will be doing actually some fighting in the arena, because...
You're gonna be firing shots again.
Yeah. Thank God. Otherwise, we'd be kicked out of the marathon. I mean, we fired a shot at the beginning, even though...
We tried to.
Alright.
This is just a classic Serious Sam arena, pretty much. We spawn right in it, there's not a lot of opportunities to break it. So we're just going to be killing a few enemies. Still not going to do all of it though.
We have infinite ammo, so we're just going to use rockets for the time being, because...
We're allowed to use server settings, so...
Yep, in co-op we have infinite ammo, which is going to be in handy for obvious reasons. Okay, alright.
And balls of spawn, they can give us a little bit of knockback and help us over that particular part of the wall to skip the rest of the fight.
Yep.
And now it's just a 10-kilometer drive to the level N trigger. I'm going to specifically run over these enemies because I'm host, and for some reason Gilly just spins out if he tries.
Yep, it's unfortunate. We're going to make... It's not quite the drive to the end. There is a little bit of intrigue that's going on here. Apple's going to be grabbing a bunch of gadgets, which will be important in the next level immediately. Meanwhile, what happened? What did you do? You spun out like nothing.
Oh, that must have been something on your end. I'm fine.
A desync. Radical. Okay, he's gonna grab some gadgets. I'm gonna run directly to the end because both of the gadgets that we're going to need, the tact and the hoverboard, are also available for me at the beginning of the next level.
It's just important. I already have them when we start.
Yep. It doesn't matter that host or client takes this role. It's just sort of what we've decided. Not because Apple is horrendous at this jump or anything like that.
No, never.
It's fine. I have a couple of shots to do this. By aiming the snowmobile at this particular lift in the rock over here, we're able to go out of bounds. I might be aiming too far left. I'll try aiming straight on. There we are. Second try. Alright. So now the only thing that I have is the sky and these trees. So I'm going to be doing my best to drive at a particular angle and not hit any trees till pretty much the end of the level, which is a big ask. Please stop that. Some of these trees are indestructible, so... and I'm essentially flying by the seat of my pants. I could be avoiding hitting all these trees, if I was good. No, what I meant to say was I could avoid losing time to hitting all of these trees by using a hoverboard, but that would require me to lose some time by spending time to get the hoverboard. It would only lose like, 5-10 seconds. But the hoverboard also happens to be a fair bit slower than the snowmobile. And also, it doesn't have infinite energy. There comes a point where am I? That's not a good thing to say, is it? Oh, I encountered a line. Okay. No, I know where I am.
You found the line?
I've actually figured out where I am. This is amazing.
There's a random line in the ground which we can use to find our place sometimes.
There's actually at least 3 invisible lines. Or, not invisible. Oh gosh, if they were invisible, that'd be the worst. Yep,
The fun usage of Dude's left behind for us here.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm lucky, although because I'm using the line route, it's very unlikely that I'm going to see it. There's also another secret out here. There just happens, I have to change to third person to see the sky. Let's see, am I even aiming at the right spot? It's really hard to tell. Oh, there it is. The ATV was off to my right. There's a random ATV that's out of bounds. We don't know why it's there. It's also slower than the snowmobile, so it's not worth switching off.
You do get ATVs later in the level normally, but since we're going out of bounds, you can just keep it the whole time.
Yeah. So this has actually been pretty clean. I know it looked like I bumped into a bunch of trees, and yes, that did lose me.
That always happens.
Amount of time. But that always happens, primarily because I'm bad. This is a shooting game, by the way. Quick reminders to shots-fired marathon staff. We do indeed shoot shots, so we're good.
You're shooting down all the trees.
Even though I'm not actually shooting down any trees, I just back up and then go forward. I know Pet and Jasper like to shoot down the trees, but I don't even want to put forward that much effort. You have to shoot like 2 rockets to take down a tree. It's incalculably expensive. Do you know how much it costs to produce a rocket? Well, okay, they're free, but it's the fun.
You're kind of infinitive then.
I have found the railroad. Now all I need to do is follow the railroad until the end trigger, which isn't actually that difficult. We'll get in there pretty quick. You'll see off to my right, if you can see it, there's brush. It's like a hand brush. Yeah, I just passed through it there. That has the one-sided invisible wall that keeps you in bounds. If you happen to hug it a little bit too closely, like I went out of my way to make sure that I was safe. If you get too close, you can end up back in bounds, and then it's a whole train wreck. We're over by trains. Okay. Now on to Roadside Picnic. And no promises, but we're probably going to be going out of bounds again. We had to wait for that first.
This is where the hoverboard I picked up becomes important.
Yeah.
I'm going to need it right away.
Apple screen is the far more interesting one. You watch him do stuff. I'm going to pick up a hoverboard and attack and then die.
So with the hoverboard, if I come up at this bit of the rocks and jump the right way, I'm now out of bounds. And I try look for a radio tower through the trees, there it is. And it's going to take roughly a straight line. So here you can see how the hoverboard just ignores most trees. And how it might be a lot easier for Siberian, even if it is slow. I'm not sure when you come across it, but there is a tank in this level which Solo uses the tank to go out of bounds here, but the hoverboard is only very barely slower, and the tank runs into all of the trees, so hoverboard's just so much better.
The reason Solo has to use the tank is because they don't have infinite ammo. It's not really an option that they have access to. So while we can have as many hoverboards as we'd like, they have to use theirs very economically if they pick up any at all. I picked up attacked, and so now I'm going to nuke myself into these kamikazes and whatever this thing is.
So here's another neat feature of the hoverboard. There's a minefield here, which I normally use to try to keep you inbound, and the hoverboard will just tank a hit, so we can actually get back inbounds from out of bounds with it. There are really tall walls all around, so it's really convenient there. And another thing we're going to do, come up to this train, align ourselves out of the hoverboard, and I'm clipped between them. getting another hop out now inside the train, skipping a fence, and another long fight. This is now the final fight of the level. You can respawn.
Alright, cool.
Now we're going to use that other gadget, finally, the tact. Come over here, and just fall in an airstrike. And another. And another, because we have infinite ammo. And we're doing it by these containers specifically. It's kind of a joke at first, but the containers are rocking around and you can consistently push the containers off the rails using these airstrikes. Because an objective we need to do later during the fight. And if we manage to do it early now, it'll speed it up a little bit.
Yep. It's a break in the script, essentially. Hopefully, once you do it, it'll say defend the second train. There it goes. Yep. So instead of having to wait for the first train to go, do a crane sequence moving the containers out of the way, and then waiting for the second train to go, we just wait for the first train to reach the objective and then the second train. So it's basically a timer. And also clearing out the enemies, which, if anything,
kind of effective.
Survives. It's good.
So I think we're making up for all those shots we didn't fire in the previous levels.
This is the apocalypse, by the way, so it's unclear who, if any, are firing these shots. Oh, are you sticking by the second train? Okay. Alright. I'll stay back here. Cool. Alright.
That's not yet.
That's the thing that we have to worry about, is that sometimes there's an enemy that sticks around for a little bit too long. Or there's a trigger that isn't hit, or something along those lines, and so this level can
fully understand the fight.
Yeah, we don't get it. Normally we would have modding tools, but they haven't added the Serious Sam editor for, say, Siberian Mayhem yet.
Moved. Oh, it's just starting now.
Oh, it's just starting now? Okay.
The enemy must have gotten stuck somewhere.
Oh, I took damage somehow. Which isn't from the airstrikes. As much as you'd think that they would cause us damage, Serious Sam is invulnerable to airstrikes. I think whatever spawned in it must have died. You should be good. There we go. And...
Forgot more enemies to fight. Using a half wood to get back here, but clear where they all spawn. That was not the right thing.
It's pretty much the exact same thing, except this time it depends on a bunch of enemies being dead. So it should happen much more quickly, assuming we clear out much more.
Yeah, he's staying in the level trigger, and there we go.
Radical. Alright, and we move on to the last level. This level has a little bit of history in that for the first, I don't know, a couple of days that we were working on this game, they did almost everything in their power to prevent us from being able to skip this level. It was looking like for a time that the speedrun would be about twice as long, based pretty solely on how bad this level was alone.
Like 3 or 4 arenas we just had to do, no way to skip.
Yep, invisible walls that extended extremely high. I found a skip, but it didn't really skip anything because you had to kill the enemies ahead of time. But then we figured out that we have minefields that lead to the out of bounds, and we have hoverboards. And shoutouts to, I think Secret found the... Oh, whoa, what happened there? Alright, that's fine. Secret found the...
Oh, it just rejected. Okay.
I think we were overlapping. Oh, that's funny. Never had that happen. Stuff.
Of course, you need to get one of those in a marathon.
I actually might beat you based on the fact that you're going to be taking all the mine hits here. Would be funny. Nope. Alright. That's fine. And you'll never guess, it's another one of those races to the end. Except we have a boss battle at the end here. We'll be fighting General Brand, who is the first and last boss of the previous game, Serious Sam 4. Due to a split in the timeline, we actually... Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but nobody cares. We're going to defeat him as well. And there was a time where we were trying to figure out how exactly the best way to defeat him was, because the attacks that we had weren't super effective on him for whatever reason. We did a fair bit of testing. But thanks to the work by Jasper and Ted, who are the current co-op world record holders, they discovered that if you fire the tact at the dead center of the arena, Brand will depending on how his AI behaves, take a lot of damage very quickly. So I should be getting out of the board and setting up my tact.
So time will be on the cutscene after we kill a brand. This cutscene to get into the arena first, though. We're coming up in just a second. And we're just gonna attack the center of the arena.
A good boss battle.
Hope.
There you go. We're getting some damage on him.
There. Oh.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go. It's a slot machine depending on how close he can get, or because he actually does things in this boss battle. You'd be surprised. Unfortunately, we can't see any of this. Time's coming up very soon. And
Time.
What was the final time on that for RTA?
I made all the right choices. I am the
Wait for my stream to catch up.
all the right choices.
Okay.
That's funny. I spent a lot of time thinking about what turned you into a traitor. Was it
Also
fear,
froze like right at the end.
delusion, greed? You know what I realized, Howard?
I've been streaming for less than 25 minutes, so we made it. We're fine. Anyway.
The great one-liner.
You're a idiot. It's cutscene.
Just watch this cutscene out.
Alright, fine.
Who are you? I'm you from
A little ahead of schedule anyway.
It's complicated, just roll with it. It's not the weirdest thing that's happened.
Thanks everyone for watching, thanks for having us.
I know it's really cool
Yeah.
that you killed
If you want to participate in Serious Sam speedruns, there's ones that
I've seen every
aren't necessarily running out of bounds, but if running out of bounds is your thing, this game is always available as well. We have
Always
entire
welcome more co-op competitors.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anyway, Sam,
We have a Discord.
I've got a mission for you. Now,
That sums it up for me.
The Pharaoh Akhenaten has just discovered a buried Syrian ship.
Oh yeah, this is the prequel. This is the prequel to Serious Sam 3. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
There's plot, sorry. Anyways.
Who plays Serious Sam for the story?
Anyways, we're good. Thank you for having us,
Zero.
Shots Fired.